Hello, y'all. I'm back. It's 8:56 p.m. in the evening. I should say night. Um, so I'm extremely tired, but I'm pushing myself to do a video because if I don't, I'll end up being worried all night. So, excuse me. I'm I have a lot to say, but I don't think I'll get to say everything I need to say tonight in one video. So, I'm really sleepy, really tired, and I've been feeling the sleep deprived, tired feeling all day. So my trip is over, and someone online had asked me, am I living nomadic or is it a vacation? And I told them, that basically forced nomadic homelessness due to, the gangstalking and whatever, So, but yeah, I am so tired. Excuse me, but I don't know. Well, I'm like too tired to do this video, but for those of y'all who ask why am I doing a video in the dark, I'm trying as best as I could to protect myself from the gang stalking attacks. Trying as best as I could to feel safe. So that's why. But they violate me and make me feel in fear of my life. And they're getting increasingly more dangerous. And so I mean, I know they're not God, but they like to think that they are. But then they falsely accuse me of being the narcissist who thinks that I'm God. But they're trying to play God with my life and trying to be bossy and controlling and abusive and sadistic, and won't let up. So, yeah, I wish I wasn't, well, I wish I was more alert at the moment, but I can't believe, all those days of train riding, I still felt like I needed to, have a hotel room and relax and get a break, like as if I've been doing like too much physical exercise, excuse me. But, yeah, like, I kind of came back okay from the first rail pass trip, but this time around, it seemed like as if that trip took a toll on me, like as if I'm like as if my body feels exhausted and beat up from so much traveling around, And I think I need like a nice long break from traveling, but I'm glad it was good for me to get to travel because I got tired of, seeing the same scenery every day and being in the same city every day or the same areas every day, But me being back home in New Orleans and this time around, I might have to be forced to change around my schedule, my daily homeless schedule. You know, I'm saying I might have to. And the stalkers, they ruined it, by making false calls to the Marrero library when I first started, to try to make it a habit to go there. I started to go to that location because of trying to avoid the perp that pepper sprayed me. And she could illegally get to ride the bus like nothing. And the police, they let her slide. Like, they didn't even take her to jail, and they were looking for a justification to wrongfully throw me in a mental hospital. And the online stalkers bragged about planting her there. And, they were really trying for an opportunity to get me wrongfully locked up in a mental institution that night. So as I said, she abnormally came and just started to, they had a lot of different space, and she just walked up and randomly, walked up where she was almost close enough to hug me, and stood in my face and lit up a cigarette and started smoking a cigarette in front of my face. And I just wanted her away from me so bad. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. People try to tell me, don't let people bully you around. If you were there first, stand your ground and don't let them push you away, or don't let them bully you off that spot if you've been there for a while, So, so I took people's advice, and I was filming and recording and documenting her fake perp activity. And she was, I don't know if she was FaceTiming or whatever, some guy. And I guess she did what she did to, maybe, I don't even know if he was a handler who coached her on how to do what she did to me. And I think that was the day after, or was it later that day? That same day. I don't remember if it was the day after or that same day of being illegally swatted at the hotel. And so like the online stalkers bragged and admitted that they lied to the Marrero library manager, and I heard he's a kind of new manager. And I think I do remember having altercations or arguments or something. I remember having an issue with him before, but I never filmed and recorded him. I never ever filmed and recorded him. But he lied and said that I filmed and recorded him several times, So the stalkers bragged and admitted that they lied on me and said that I was, they called up the library and told a bunch of lies, trying to get me wrongfully kicked out and banned from the library, And it's like they try to get me wrongfully. It's like if I go to some place and it seems like as if they get fixated on that place to try extra hard to get me wrongfully permanently banned from this place and that place. And then they're obsessive about it. And even like even the security guards at the aquarium even said that they're sick and tired of the stalkers calling so much. The Gretna library workers said that they got sick and tired of the stalkers calling so much. But other people, it's like they take the stalkers' lies at face value and just take action to wrongfully punish me without question. And I end up being wrongfully persecuted and abused and wrongfully kicked out and banned or, and they'll say, oh, you're trespassed. I mean, y'all saw the video of what happened at the Miami airport. I mean, not airport. I meant to say Amtrak station. Excuse me. So they have had other targeted individuals who have said that gang stalkers have run them up out of entire towns and stuff. And this is the most traveling that I've done in my life and in a short period of time. And I ended up this year, alone, being in so many different cities and states in a short period of time, or passing through so many cities and states. But I don't think I set foot in every city and state yet, even just passing through, But I mean, Vermont, Maine, Connecticut, or states like Oregon. I've never been to those states yet, or even passing through. Oh yeah, I think I did pass through Oregon, coming from Seattle to California. But I think I was sleeping. I think it was overnight, in the middle of the night, But excuse me. But I never thought that I was seeing myself, zigzagging and traveling all across the country, trying to make myself as safe as possible, trying to avoid the stalkers threatening to kidnap me and stuff. And I guess that didn't do any good, because it helped me in some ways. I was able to learn certain things and experience certain things, but the fact that they had the fake Candy Palooza event, excuse me, that they were talking about, planned for April 10th through 13th, and then for them to tell me that I don't have a choice to participate. That I don't have a choice, and that they're going to force me to participate. And then they were threatening me with the trafficking and the white vans and everything, So, and I knew that the cops wouldn't do anything, so I tried my best to try to leave town to try to avoid them. And then they were sending perps to harass me at every location that I went to. And it's like they even bragged and admitted that they were in touch with some fake perp that they say works for Amtrak. Sticky supposedly has the fake red triangle called the fake Sticky TT6 perp. He bragged about a lady named Abigail that he claims to be close friends with, that he said that she works for Amtrak, and showed him my entire 30-day rail pass trip itinerary. Excuse me, and so I don't know what this fake Candy Palooza stupid thing that they talking about doing. Excuse me, but they're after my soul. They're a satanic cult, and they're after my soul, and they're stalking, harassing, and threatening me, and illegally swatting me, and getting me wrongfully permanently banned from places as undeserved punishment for resisting them and refusing to sell my soul and refusing to join their cult. And then they lie and say that they already do own me and own my soul. And I cannot believe, how people in their 50s and 60s are following Sticky. They're following Sticky, and and the stalkers, they're telling a bunch of lies. They everything that they're falsely accusing me of is what they're doing to me. If Sticky has a nice car or whatever, I don't know what kind of car, but I saw a video of him flaunting off what looked like a red Cadillac. But I don't know if that was a fake AI video or real. But if Sticky could be financially well off and have his hand out for donations, and he bragged about, stealing my writings and then earning over $4,000, almost $5,000 from my writings. I've been actively writing for almost 6 years now. I started writing in 2019, but I couldn't even finish a lot of my writings have to be put on hold because of what I'm going through. But, I tried to be an author and write in the years 2006 and 2006 and 2007 when I was homeless in New York. And I have written out 5 chapters of what I used to have a dream of wanting to be a New York Times bestseller. But I knew nothing about people selling their soul to the devil, or I knew nothing about the Illuminati or the New World Order, or gang stalking, or targeted individuals. I knew nothing. I was blind to everything, But now I have zero desire to want to become a New York Times bestseller. I don't want that anymore. Since that requires for people to sell their soul, I don't want it. I don't want that. I don't want that. So speaking of Sticky, he lied on me and said that I doxed his name and physical address, and I never knew what city he lived in. And he himself came on my live stream chat and told me what his so-called real name is. And another perp from the cult had told me, made it like as if she was confirming. But I never knew what city he lived in. So they lied. And my perp twin sister has a video defending Sticky. And she reversed everything with the rape or whatever. She reversed everything on me. She falsely accused me of being the one that went around lying about myself being raped when it was her. And she has a whole slanderous video defending Sticky and lying on me. And she lied on me and said that I lied and said that Sticky and fake Darnell Williams, fake Damnesia raped me. I never said that they raped me. I said that fake Damnesia and them, I think Sticky did threaten to, I think Sticky also, I know fake Damnesia, I know he did for sure multiple times, but I think Sticky also sent me a fake harassing email threatening to rape me. Or threatening to sex traffic me or something like that. I don't remember because, I don't even remember if it was before the stolen backpack situation or if it was after. But it was within the past few months. Recently, Sticky had, it was a while back. He threatened to rape me or sex traffic or rape me or something like that. But fake Damnesia were always coming in my chat. Threatening to rape me and stuff. And even Matthew has documentation of fake Damnesia, fake Darnell Williams fake Damnesia threatening to rape me and threatening to shoot and kill me with a gun and stuff, and all those depictions of him, the fake AI pictures of him holding me at gunpoint and trafficking me in a hotel room or drowning me in a river or baptizing me in blood and stuff like that, you know. And it's like when I document and show all the dangerous things that they're doing, y'all overlook and ignore me because y'all fake and expect me to be just positive. And whenever I document the targeting, you want to make it like you want to make it a strike against me to punish me, saying that like you give me a thumbs down as form as punishment, undeserved punishment, because you think that me documenting the targeting is being negative. You notice that whenever I document the stalking and harassment, whether it be video or a live stream or community posts, I get super low thumbs up or super low number of likes on the me documenting the targeting evidence. But then if I show a picture of the Rocky Mountains or the you know, or if I show pictures of you know, Lake Erie, you know, ERIE, you know, if I show a picture like Lake Erie or Rocky Mountains or you know, the Grand Canyon or Smoky Mountains or Blue Ridge Mountains or something like that, that might get like 75 thumbs up. Or if I take a picture of myself smiling with a new hairdo or haircut, oh, that's when I might get over 50 likes. But for me to document their attacks, you know, my exposure, everything gets suppressed, and they expect everybody, society in the world expect me to be happy and positive all the time. You know, and another thing I wanted to address is my twin sister lying on me and saying that I had stalked Aaliyah, the singer Aaliyah, the R&B singer. Excuse me. She lied on me to the fake red triangle cult and said that I was stalking Aaliyah's family, especially her brother, for years after he blocked me, and that's not true. You know, and then she lied to the stalkers and said that I was begging Aaliyah's family members for money and scamming them too. And like, she is really trying to troll with that one. But I'll tell you what, I'm her twin sister, and she's been stalking me for several years. Cyber stalking me for several years. But shortly after I told my twin sister, it was like February 2010, I was excited about, you know, when I got on Twitter and I found Aaliyah's brother Rashad. And because I was mainly a fan of her, you know, but I did have a crush on him. But this was before I found out the truth about anything, you know. So like, I had a crush on Rashad, but not like, you know, I felt like out of respect for Aaliyah, I never like sexually fantasized about myself, you know, sleeping with him or anything like that, you know. But I try to be respectful and everything, and he was nice and normal, and he followed me back on Twitter, and I never DM him, he never DM me, and I occasionally message him, you know, or tweeted at him, or, you know, and I never even had like long conversations with him or nothing, you know. But we used to have fun on Twitter for a short bit, and then Rashad, he changed and started acting different towards not just me, but a lot of people, almost everybody. And I didn't even realize that he was running his own Twitter cult. And it didn't dawn on me till some time later that he was running his own personalized Twitter cult called Art Eternal. And he was his own cult leader that you couldn't question or speak against him or I mean, well, you couldn't question him about nothing or, but he had his only, small select amount of people, and mainly females, that he liked, and maybe a couple of guys, but other Aaliyah fans were telling me that Rashad is a pedo and a pervert and stuff like that himself. Other like a lot of the females were coming to tell me. And then some of the females were saying that they showed me, I think it was screenshots of the private messages of him sexually harassing them and asking for naked pictures, via email or private message or whatever, And then there was someone at the homeless shelter in Los Angeles that said that Rashad had been very well known around Hollywood to be a deviant sex pervert. So, but I heard that that's how Hollywood people operate. That, like Epstein, and I heard they pronounce it Ghislaine Maxwell, and Diddy and the baby oil and all that, So this was before I found out about anything or connecting dots or putting pieces of the puzzle together or whatever, And I tried to, talk to a lot of different celebrities, on Twitter back in 2010 when it was Twitter and not X, Even the singer Monica and, Missy Elliott, T-Boz and Chili from TLC, SWV, I've, had a few conversations. Like, me and Missy Elliott used to talk all the time, Or me and T-Boz used to talk. Like have conversations, But Monica responded to me a few times, but I had no idea about the Illuminati, the New World Order. I had no idea about selling your soul to the devil. I had no idea that these people were evil. I wish I would have known the truth back then, like when I was a child. And then I wish I would have never, thought about that. I mean, I wish I would have never thought about the idea being fixated on celebrities in general, being fans of celebrities. But, now I try to follow Jesus and, forsake the celebrity world. But recently I have off and on for small moments at backslid and went back to listening to secular music, and it's a hard thing to break yourself out of if you listen to secular music and then don't feel convicted about it and listen to it for like 3 weeks, and then next thing you know, you just feel bad and try to snap your way out of that addictive habit of listening to the R&B or the rap music or whatever. But anyway, excuse me. So I think that in February or March or whatever, after I told my twin sister about after I told her I was all excited and told her on the phone about Aaliyah's brother being nice to me and following me on Twitter and stuff. And then shortly after, he unfollowed me, and I didn't know why. And I was wondering, what did I say or do wrong? And I figured she had something to do with it. And then I think she slandered me to him and made him, feel a certain way. And then I felt like I went into that, and other factors, other things had caused me to go into a deep depression in 2010, to the point, well, like 2010, I found out about the Illuminati and the New World Order, and I was wondering why lots of celebrities were treating me mean, or like even Chili from TLC was like not nice towards me, and a few other celebrities or their relatives or whatever, and even the smaller people that's lesser known, that weren't that big as celebrities, if they made music or whatever. But I went into a depression, because I was going to college, going back to school after I graduated from UNO in 2006 after Hurricane Katrina, and then I took more classes in 2007. Things didn't work out. I tried again in 2010. Things didn't work out. And me having problems with school, and also me questioning why celebrities were rude to me online and didn't like me, and I'm like, wow, I invested almost my whole life being a fan of you, and this is the thanks I get, or this is how I get treated, And one time I thought that Taj Mari had blocked me online, but he said that he did not have Facebook and that wasn't him. So I apologized to him, but so like by the end of 2010, no, actually summer 2010 was when I started waking up to the Illuminati and the New World Order, because everybody on Twitter was talking about it, talking about the Illuminati and the New World Order and celebrities selling their soul to the devil and everything, So, and then, so like, I don't know where my twin sister get that lie from. She lied on me and said that I was stalking Aaliyah's family for years. And which was not even true. And I went into a depression after like all of this. And then also my twin sister and the biological sister Ramona, stealing money from me, and Mark too, stealing money from me and using and taking advantage of me. And so much happened in 2010 that it led to me, I nearly succeeded, that, I attempted suicide in October 2010. Because it's like I felt hated by the world. I didn't know Jesus Christ. I didn't know the truth. And also 2010, I woke up and found out the truth about fake IDMR being a cult for real. I got my final confirmation about fake IDMR being a cult. And then the fake fraudster Harris being rude and disrespectful towards me because my twin sister smear campaign and lied on me to him. And all that took such a toll on me that I attempted suicide like at least twice that year. Like earlier in 2010, I was depressed and not eating, to the point where I don't remember if it was 2 weeks or 2 months that I was on psych meds, and I was depressed and not eating. And then I almost died. Like I collapsed in the laundry room and felt traumatized. I forgot how long it was that I went without eating in 2010. And I collapsed in the laundry room and thought I was gonna die. And I had a hard time trying to hold it together to try to get myself to, get me something to eat or some water to drink or something. And then after that, I was living in Denton, Texas at the time. I was not homeless. I had a place to live, but I was financially struggling, like living off of extremely low finances for years, and not begging or asking nobody for nothing. Just suffering off of extremely low income for years. And all those times trying to look for jobs, and they closed all these employment doors in my face. So, excuse me, after that situation where I almost died, I collapsed from, going weeks without eating. And then for the next 2 weeks, 14 days, I was eating like 1 or 2 pints of nothing but Bluebell ice cream every day, feeling depressed. And then I noticed that my teeth were very loose. And then after that, I started to started back to try to like eat normal again, And so, well, dealing with Aaliyah's brother, I was upset and hurt about him and their cousin Blair, treating me mean on Twitter. And one day I just was like lashing out on, cussing out every damn body. And then everybody was like, oh, what the hell is her problem, I think that was after my suicide attempt. After my 2 suicide attempts later on. Because in in October of that year, I took an overdose of pills trying to off myself. And then was abused in a mental hospital so bad that once I got out of the mental hospital, I attempted suicide again. And then lost support and lost friends, because people and everybody was wondering what was my problem or why was I going so crazy. And I everybody was just turning against me and left and right, And they had someone named Conrad that was associated with one of the, Aaliyah fans. Well, he was considered one of the Aaliyah fans, and he's like, stop it, about all my suicide attempts. He's like, stop it, damn it. You have so much to live for. And then after that, he lost all respect and quit talking to me. Like, a lot of Aaliyah's fans, instead of reaching out, they all turned against me. And something like this happened in 2007 also, that, when I was going through stuff and Aaliyah's so-called fans were unsupportive of me and turning against me, and everybody ignoring me and bullying me, ganging up on me on those websites and everything. So if Aaliyah was alive and the stalkers had access to her, then, they would put lies in her head trying to turn her against me. But I believe that Aaliyah was a TI. I believe Aaliyah was a targeted individual. She was suffering gang stalking. Heavy. But due to the MK Ultra, I guess she was programmed to not be bothered by it, I think she was a targeted individual and didn't realize it. And I talk about this all the time, that, I saw that they said that Whitney Houston, that they tortured Whitney Houston with directed energy weapons to make sure that she burned and died. That there were a bunch of burns on her. And also they killed Bobby Christina the same way. And then they said that I heard that they used directed energy weapons to make sure Aaliyah's plane was down. They made sure, they used the directed energy weapons to, make sure that Aaliyah's plane went down. All for that $90 million life insurance policy that her own uncle took out. And in 2010 or 11, I think it was 2011 when I started speaking out against what I researched. And I said, it makes sense that Aaliyah's own uncle has blood sacrificed, was the one who sacrificed her. And later on, people started peeping through my windows with flashlights, and I would see, it would be snowing outside in February 2011, so I would see people's footprints in the snow near my windows. And when I would call the cops would lie and say they didn't find anything. And there was fake gang-stalking cops of Denton, Texas, corrupt and racist. Excuse me. So shortly after I publicly said that Aaliyah's own uncle was the one who had her sacrificed, not so much Damon Dash, like people were wrongfully saying in the beginning. And come to find out, I didn't realize I was right later on. That it was her uncle, Barry Hankerson. Excuse me. So, but anyway, how can my twin sister lie on me and say that I was stalking Aaliyah's family for years when shortly after my suicide attempt in 2010, well, more like in the next year in 2011, I tried to get rid of like all my social media. But then I got back on Twitter after a while. And excuse me, I got back on Twitter after a while, and then it's like I wasn't even following Rashad in 2012, and then like 2012, 2013, he went off to go on Instagram. I didn't have Instagram then. He stopped posting on Twitter, and I don't even think he has that same Twitter account or whatever. And he, went on Instagram, and I was not going to go on Instagram, but in 2020, I went on Instagram for a short period of time because I got on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, urging for help. After Alex Dupree ran me out of Pensacola in like June 2020, after I had an emotional meltdown crying. And, and then the next day I ended up going to Mobile, Alabama for like 3 weeks almost. And I wasn't on Instagram for that long, and I wasn't on Facebook for that long. And after Alex Dupree ran me out of Pensacola due to the gang stalking, that was when I started to have to ask for help every day. But before then, if you see more prior videos, I wasn't asking for donations that much really. Prior to then, because what happened was they started raising the prices on everything. Stalkers started getting me wrongfully permanently banned from places. And before then I was trying to survive independently without help. So like I thought it was just gonna be a short-term thing, but I didn't realize this was gonna have to be the rest of my life. But then the temporary moments that I would be able to get a job, which the stalkers would workplace mob me off the job, They would workplace mob me off the job, and then but during the time that I had the employment, I wouldn't really ask for help. In 2021, I was homeless, sleeping on the streets and working. And in 2019, I was homeless, sleeping on the streets and working. And didn't even think to get hotel rooms. Hotel or motel or whatever, you know. But I had homeless sleep spot in Pensacola. I can't do that here in New Orleans. And the gang stalkers, they gang stalked me off of every homeless sleep spot. Now, when I don't think it was my first day, but it was like my second or third week in living homeless in Pensacola in 2019. They had someone that emailed me shortly after I moved to Pensacola and left New Orleans. Someone emailed me and told me about Aaliyah having a secret daughter, and you know, and the stalkers sent the daughter to come and find me, search and find me on Instagram and try to DM me and cuss me out, harass and threaten me, and you know, be abusive and rude and try to handle up on me and stuff, you know, because I did a video, you know, speaking against, you know, how we were deceived, you know, about all these celebrities and stuff, you know, and if that's supposed to be Aaliyah and sicko R. Kelly's secret daughter or whatever, and I was I was upset, and I said, well, she's ugly, you know, and excuse me, I mean, I'm like, well, if she didn't worship the devil and dress like a little she-devil, then maybe she wouldn't be so ugly, you know. When people thought the singer Rihanna was cute or pretty or whatever, and then, you know, after she did Good Girl Gone Bad or turned like more satanic, you know, her dressing up like a she-devil, that ain't cute. That made Rihanna look ugly. You know, when you dress like a gothic devil worshiper, and there are videos out there with Rihanna saying, I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about? That was her exact quotes that she said, that Rihanna, that she said she was a devil worshiper. They got videos out there of Rihanna bragging about being a devil worshiper, and these Hollywood stars, you know, talking about their deals with the devil. Even Michael Jackson, but I don't know if they scrubbed that from the internet after he lost his life. But Bob Dylan, I've seen, you know, videos about him and certain other celebrities. You know, but I had no idea about any of this being spiritual, or I had no idea, you know, about cults, mind control, MK Ultra, Illuminati New World Order. I knew none of this. You know, I didn't know that, you know, they had the musician. I mean, no, I'm sorry, he wasn't a musician. He was a man who exposed how ever since like at least the 70s that his name was John Todd, and he was actually part of the Collins family. And after he exposed the music industry, he disappeared. And he exposed that ever since at least the 1970s that the Hollywood stars conjure up a demon to put spells on music, movies, books, whatever, and then had that demonic spirit to follow, you know, every copy of the music or whatever, you know. And that's how these celebrities and stars, they get success, you know, undeserved success. And I heard that the satanic rituals and the crimes that celebrities commit, and the Hollywood elite and the elite above Hollywood, and the politicians and You know, like if I'm like, well, wow. After hearing about all this evil, wickedness, and filth, and satanic rituals, and the disgusting things that celebrities do, and people want us to look up them as good, look up to these celebrities as good people, and look up to them as God, like a replacement for God. And I heard that these celebrities, a lot of them are spoiled, narcissistic abusers, and that they don't give a shit about us fans. You like that was a hard pill to swallow. To find that out, you know, that the celebrities, that they give zero fucks about us fans. Now, and we're worshiping them, you know, and like I heard that a lot of the celebrities would talk bad and laugh about their fans behind their backs. You know, that the celebrities, they don't care about the fans because they sold their souls and they lost their souls, so that they can't have any care, you know. But I heard stories about certain celebrities do have a heart. Like I heard that Michael Jackson and people like Aaliyah, I heard that them two actually had empathy and wanted to help people. I don't know about Whitney Houston, but I don't know about Michael Jackson being hit with direct energy weapons. But I did hear him and Tupac, and I heard that they were targeted individuals. You know, don't y'all know they almost killed Chris Brown? They tried to kill Raz B from B2K. So yeah, like at the end of 2009, like Sanaa Lathan was rude to me on social media. You know, so like that's why I say fuck these fake retarded celebrities. I'm glad to follow, you know, something bigger and greater, and I'm glad to follow someone who does care. Jesus Christ. You know. So like I don't even excuse me, I don't even keep up with Aaliyah's family, or I don't even keep up with Rashad Houghton, you know, for my twin sister to lie and say that I've been stalking their family for years. If Rashad never told you Candy's been stalking me, then shut the hell up. Excuse me. So like yeah. So that's all I have to say about that part, you know. But yeah, like my twin sister has a whole fake video of herself, you know, lying on me and defending Sticky and fake Damnesia. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, you know what? Sticky did threaten to rape me, and that he threatened to rape me in an email. I never said that they did rape me. I said that him and fake Damnesia not together, but they threatened to rape me. Fake Damnesia, there was a point in time he was threatening to rape me every day. Threatening me with a gun and threatening to throw me in a river and making fake obituaries. Like, I wish that there would be someone that can hunt fake Damnesia down and find out who the fuck he truly is. Because he's a sick, filthy, disgusting, nasty ass coward. And he knows that what he's doing is wrong, so that's why he hides his identity and makes a bunch of fake ones. and they want to try to, they get mad when you catch on to their fake identities, and then they want to try to be like, well, just because someone sound like this person doesn't mean that they try to gaslight and lie and try to switch things around, but I know by their fake patterns or stuff, like Angie tried to lie and say that she's not behind that Mrs. Gillicuddy account, or she'll try to lie and say she wasn't behind this account and that account, or fake Mark Russell Pert will lie and say he's not behind this account and that account when it's him the whole time. So I knew it that other stalkers will fake follow suit to try to call me a parasite. But he had been calling me a insufferable human being and a parasite for for no unprovoked, for no reason at all. I didn't know who he was, and he would just stalk, follow, and harass and attack me every social media, everywhere, and talk about me being an insufferable human being and a parasite. And it's like, I never did you anything. I don't know who you are. And then he started viciously attacking me even more this year, daily, every day, without a break. And come and make fake new profiles. Like, you online stalkers have to not have a job in order to be on my ass all day, every day. Like, how do you have time to work when you're flooding my emails all day, every day? Like, I don't think rapper Jay has a damn job, and cyber stalking, that's not work. That's a crime. So while they're harassing me about going get a job, while they sit on their phones or computers or whatever devices all day, every day, without a break, and they don't give themselves a day off, or they don't give themselves an hour lunch break or nothing. They're like, these fuckers, they never sleep and they never stop. There's more to life than Candy Grandpre. There's more life more to life than Candy Grandpre, and more to life than being obsessed with Candy Grandpre. That you dedicate your entire life to being. Why is this fake red triangle cult? Why are they fixated on me? Why are they so obsessed? Why are they so obsessed and fixated on me? Of all the billions of people in this world, why me? Why am I their main focus? They refuse to answer. And the other people that they're attacking is because of me. And they don't go away if you ignore them. They don't stop if you ignore them. So the fake Mark Russell perp, he had lied and said that he does not talk to, he said, I don't talk to your goofy twin sister either. And I don't like your goofy sister, and I never did like your goofy twin sister. Now, the fake Erica Frost perp was fake buddy with my twin sister at one point, and they're all part of the fake red triangle cult, and they originally had associations with the fake aggressive defiance TV perp some kind of way, and that's where this fake red triangle cult came from, being associated with the fake aggressive defiance TV perp. I don't know how he found my twin sister, and the stalking has been worse, and more people are joining this fake YouTube cult. Like the fake red triangle cult is like a subcult of the bigger Gangstalking network. It's like a small satanic subcult of the bigger Gangstalking network. So basically a cult is after me, And so when the fake Mark Russell perp, he lied and said that he don't fuck with my twin sister, like he never did like her either. Well, why isn't he all over her page stalking and harassing and making fake threatening and harassing, abusive, controlling comments on her channel? When he believes every lie that she makes about me, him and the rest of the cult, they all believe my twin sister's lies as gospel truth. They all believe her lies as gospel truth without question. So the fake Mark Russell perp believed, and the other stalkers believed my twin sister when she lied on me and said that I was stalking Aaliyah's family for years. And she lied on me and said that I was begging Aaliyah's family members for money and that Aaliyah's brother and family members were giving me money. None of that's true. I never even asked Aaliyah's brother Rashad for any money. I wasn't asking for any money on Twitter in 2010, 11, 12. Not back then. I didn't need to. Even though I was struggling. And, it didn't even cross my mind that, they didn't have CashApp. And, at least I didn't know about it. I didn't know about CashApp and PayPal and all that back. Well, I think I may have had a PayPal. But I didn't even start receiving PayPal or whatever Cash App donations until 2019 because they had people in the TI community that begged me to get a Cash App. Guess who? It was Uniquely Made Warrior, the fake TI perp Monique, who I call fake crusty Monique. She was the one who kept, telling me to get a Cash App. And then the fake smear campaign video that she did to make sure the perp with the red. She's a fake TI, one of the popular fakes in the TI community, and a narcissistic control freak fake TI perp bully that was trying to sex traffic me to her house in South Carolina. She was trying to traffic me, and Cynthia Burns, Cindy, was trying to sex traffic me to her home in Oklahoma. And that's why I don't trust anyone's offer to come stay by them. I had a traumatic experience locally in Pensacola about a fake TI perp with a name Tanya White that lied and said her name was Judy or whatever. Or was Tanya White the fake name? I don't know. But she locked me up in her RV. The lady locked me up in her RV for 2 hours and traumatized me. And then people get mad that, and it's like after Alex Dupree ran me out of Pensacola, I was at my lowest, and they had a bunch of fake TI perps and regular perps posing as targeted individuals. They were trying to pretend to be targeted and try to lure me to their home. And when I would reject and say no, they would smear me to the TI community and lie and say, oh, she's a scammer and fraud that just wants your money. But they've been trying to traffic me like they had a guy that talked with a Los Angeles accent. I think he did say he was from LA or California, and he tried to get me to come to his place in Wyoming and say he had like a 4-bedroom house and a car that I could use. And it's like I didn't trust to go stay by him because he was a guy that I didn't know. They had the sex trafficker perp DJ that lied and said he was targeted. And DJ was stalking, following, and harassing. And he left me alone for a while. But that DJ was a fake name. And he used to illegally call my phone number with fake text now numbers. And DJ was a satanic sex trafficker that tried to bully me and trying to make like I was going to have to be forced to sell out and join, and that I don't have a choice. He was younger than me, and he was like brutal with his words and sadistic. But he was like the hood gangster ghetto version of the fake Mark Russell perp with the control, abuse, and harsh words. And so, yeah, that's their agenda to try to get me to sell out. And I'm not. I don't want to. you know. And DJ will hide his face and hide his real identity and call from fake text now numbers. Fake DJ, like, he left me alone once fake Damnesia came in the picture. But DJ been stalking and harassing me since 2020. And he approached me pretending to be a targeted individual. And I think he's based in the Chicago area. Because he would call from numbers, area codes associated with, Chicago and Milwaukee and stuff, More like Chicago numbers, But, yeah. But, I'm surprised, as tired as I am, I'm surprised I was able to say all I said and vent all that I needed to vent, I'm sorry, that portion. But I still got more to talk about, So, like, I don't know what's going to be in store. So today is Friday, May 1st. They said the court date, I thought it said May 14th. I have to go back and check because usually the court dates are on a Wednesday, not Thursday. But I have to go back and check because it might be May 13th. I don't know. But they should have dropped that fake court case. And y'all saw what they did in the live stream last night to mock the idea of someone getting arrested for trespassing. And they tried to further intimidate with canine dogs this time. With police canine dogs to try to add to further intimidation and fear-mongering, that they try to do as fake street theater to act out and mock me being wrongfully arrested and thrown in jail, to re-traumatize me all over again. And they know the fake court date is coming up. And the stalkers, I put in the community post about them harassing me last night and talking about that they showed the judge this and showed the judge that. If the judge could see if they could see flash drives and stuff from internet strangers and call that evidence, why can't my flash drives be evidence? Why can't my flash drive information be evidence? Why? Why not? I don't understand. The judge is playing crooked games. And for the judge, I'm feeling terrified of being forced to have to serve time in jail for crimes that I'm not guilty of, crimes that I didn't commit. And fake Damnesia admitted to me that the whole fake red triangle cult or whatever, basically, in cahoots with the judge, the fake public offender, the police, the prosecutors, and all that. And he admitted that, you're going to serve 33 days, that fake Masonic 33, you're going to serve 33 days in jail, and you're going to serve your sentence, and then after that, we're going to sex traffic you to a brothel in Shreveport. He has made fake harassing messages to tell me that. So, I'm feeling like I cannot afford to go to jail. To go back to jail or to be forced to have to do time. And they're trying to build a fake case against me to try to make up lies to falsely have me put away in prison or the prison psych ward for them to basically lock me up and throw away the key and have me wrongfully put away from society and in jail or prison or the mental institution forever. And they said, we will not stop until we succeed at making sure you go to prison for XYZ false crimes that they lied and said I committed that I never committed. They make it like as if I'm worse of a criminal and a sinner than Paul or Saul in the Bible. When Paul, he used to be Saul, but then he changed his name to Paul in the Bible. And I remember the scripture, I don't remember which scripture it was, when he said in the Bible about being a chief of sinners, you know. So if God is bigger than you stalkers and can have grace and mercy on me, but then they want to play God and think that they can punish me on this earth. But when I say y'all going to hell for what y'all doing, they say, well, you don't have the authority to make that decision. Well, y'all the ones who made that determination. Y'all the ones who chose to sell out. I don't even know if, like, Miss Vicky, I don't know if the money was too good for her. I mean, if the money was good enough for her, or if they really threatened Miss Vicky and had her scared. If they threatened Mr. Rodney. I never did Mr. Rodney anything. And he just covertly and secretly went behind my back. And that fake crusty, what's his name? Something, he had Cash or whatever in his username. King Cash or something like that. He was nice and supportive and then snuck behind my back. And I thought he pretended to be targeted. And he was like a guy version of Cinny. That he pretended to be targeted. And then after a while, started perping and harassing for no reason at all. You know. And he was very, very young. You know. But he acted like he was speaking against the Illuminati and the New World Order. They got certain people that's they fake double agents. They pretend like they're speaking against the Illuminati and the New World Order. Pretend that they're standing for the truth, and then behind closed doors they're participating in the gang stalking, or they pretend like they're being persecuted and targeted and claim that they're chosen ones, and then behind closed doors they're narcissistically abusing and gang stalking, you know. And wow. I'm glad I was able to get that portion of venting. I'm glad I was able to get that, release that emotional burden, you know. So, I'm pretty sure there's more about all that stuff that I had to say, but my mind is like, I guess my mind is not clear right now, and my mind kind of went blank. But anyway, excuse me. So the trip is over. The fake court date is like, I don't know if it's May 13th or 14th. I thought it was the 14th, but I got to double check. And the stalkers threatening me and falsely accusing me of taking a train trip to skip out on a court date. If that was the case, I would have took another rail pass trip, and I would have been out of, you know, I came back because I got to be forced to go to court. And I wish I didn't have to. And the fake court judges, prosecutors, public offender, they're crooked, satanic liars that's abusing their illegal fake power that they don't deserve to have. You know. And you know, they're not even following proper protocol on how things are supposed to be done. And so like the stalkers, they were talking about the fake candy palooza, talking about it was gonna be July 1st. I'm sorry, 4th of July. They said it was the perfect time because it's America's 250th birthday or 250th anniversary or whatever. So, and right when I'm saying that, they're trying to, feels like they're trying to electronically pinch my left big toe. My left big toe on my foot, they're trying to electronically pinch or burn it with the directed energy weapons. Now I'm speaking, and then they try to say, well, we're gonna move the Candy Palooza event to Memorial Day is what they said, And like my twin sister, the reason how I came to a conclusion that she's one of the, like a satanic sex trafficker, is these different men that she tried to set me up with, or acting like she tried to force me to date them and try to make it like I don't have a choice, and I didn't want to date them, and she lied and switched her story around about that Freemason, the guy that she said was the married Freemason that was her neighbor in Texas named Dewey. Now she switched her story and lied and said he was never married and that he was never a Freemason. Like, well, if he's married, why are you trying to think you can hook me up with him and try to force me to date him? And then, all those, like, when I was in Georgia by her in Stone Mountain, Georgia, she tried to, in 2010, she tried to blackmail me into going to lesbian strip club, and I didn't want to. Oh, see, they're trying to attack different areas of my left foot with the direct energy weapons because of what I'm speaking about. And also, she tried to force me to go to the fake IDMR cult classes the next day. And try to blackmail and threaten me and stuff, And she would act like as if she would try to, push me to become homosexual. Like one day she tried to call me up in 2009 or 10, one of those years. It was before I left Denton, Texas. And she tried to call me up and trying to act like she was trying to convince me that I should also become a lesbian. And then she tried to tell me that I don't know what I'm missing. But if multiple guys don't like me, I don't think women will like me. But now I'm traumatized by situations where this is another reason why I try to avoid the homeless community. Like they had a semi-elderly lady, well, kind of close to elderly lady in Long Beach that was we were forced to have to take a communal shower, and it was, we didn't get to have any privacy of washing ourselves at the Homeless Day Center in Long Beach, California. This was in 2011, 2012, before I got my housing. And they had a older lesbian lady that acted like she wanted to try to turn me out. And I turned her down, and I rejected her fake sexual advances, and she turned the whole homeless shelter community against me, and then had other people come to harass and bully me on that homeless bus, the bus where the homeless perps smell like hot dog water, smelled like old stale hot dog water. And I don't remember how long I was at that shelter in Long Beach. That was after I got wrongfully kicked out of that that transitional housing in Long Beach. You know, Long Beach part of Los Angeles, California, you know. And there were a few other and they had that bisexual lesbian named Twinkie in New York that wanted to try to turn me out. And because I refused her sexual advances and she was trying to be my handler, I didn't know at the time. But I never did anything sexual with her. But she wanted to try to turn me out. And because I rejected her advances, she turned the whole shelter against me. And, had everybody, to be against me and everything, But the whole shelter, they had it out for me since day one. And they had a few other instances about moments where I dealt with, women trying to turn me out or trying to coerce unwanted gay relationships with me. And I'm like, no. Like they had someone named Tawanda Johnson that I was going to fake West Jeff with. And I was in my senior year in high school, and she wanted to try to turn me out. I'm like, no, I don't find you attractive at all. And my twin sister, she lied on me and said that I had been having gay fantasies about Aaliyah. That's not true. Because she wants to project her homosexuality onto me. And even fake rapper Jay and fake Darnell Williams, fake Damnesia, they have an agenda to try to turn me lesbian. And they're gay, and they try to fantasize about me being an underage sexual boy toy. That fake Damnesia talking about some genetic heterodyning that through the trafficking and MK Ultra and genetic heterodyning, that he said something about that he can turn me from a 42-year-old woman to like a 12-year-old boy or something like that, And they're so coercive with trying to, and like the stalkers, they harassed me telling me I should shave my head and everything. And speaking of my head, being homeless, I have not been able to get to take proper care of my hair. And, I'm hoping that I can get to still comb through it, And I don't get to brush my teeth that often. Brush and floss or whatever. And it's like when I had the sinus infection or whatever, and had to go to the emergency room in Miami, it's like, well, wow, all I needed to do was get to brush my teeth with that bentonite clay and the salt. But I didn't have access, how when you're homeless, they say you can't brush your teeth at the library and stuff, So other than hotel, that's the only opportunity I could get to brush my teeth. But they had someone in a TI community that I saw a video that someone had posted that they hit her teeth with direct energy weapons and electronically kind of like burned her teeth out of her mouth. And I'm like, I saw the video. I didn't actually click on it, but I saw that she posted it, and I saw the thumbnail and the caption or whatever. And it's like, I was horrified to see a burnt tooth. Like, what the hell? You know, with these directed energy weapons, I've seen people targeting individuals that, like one guy, I saw that the skin on his feet were melting off. They had people in the TI community that hit with directed energy weapons and have nosebleeds. And they were squeezing my organs last night and this morning, both times I took a shower. They were trying to squeeze my organs and make my organs feel like they're about to burst. And this is another reason why, with them squeezing my organs, that's why I cannot have, one of the reasons why I cannot have employment. Because if I do a janitorial job, I cannot bend down to, you know, clean toilets and urinals, because I don't know if you know, I might have to be forced to quit work for the rest of the day and can't get paid my day of wage, because if they're torturing me with direct energy weapons or do a noise campaign so bad I have to quit work and go home. Well, I don't have a home, but, you know. This is really scary, frightening. And, you know, I'm being forced to have to live in fear. But then, you know, a lot of Christians, they point to the Bible scripture about how fearful, unbelieving, abominable, whatever, will end up going to hell. You know, so like if you get scared, a scary person or fear of man, that's why I'm trying to practice to not be scared of the perps and their attacks and whatever, but they want me to feel like I'm in the wrong. You know, they want me to feel like I'm in the wrong. So, yeah, the in-person gang stalking was pretty heavy after I left the train. And yeah, I live streamed last night, and then I got to the hotel. And the first bus driver was rude when I left the train station, and then the second bus driver, she was nice, and she told me that it looked like I lost a lot of weight. I'm like, really? I still think I look and feel so fat. But it looked like, I guess she was trying to say that me coming back from the trip, she said it looked like I lost a lot of weight. Well, I don't know. But I don't know. I'm really scared on what I'm scared about if the stalkers do try to kidnap or try to traffic me. Now, when in 2021, I only was able to do a video talking about it. I didn't get to have the cops on video. But the Star Bricker had illegally swatted me in May 2021 and sent the cops after me. And the cops try to manipulate for me to volunteer to go with them so that they could kidnap me and traffic me. The crooked cops in Pensacola, Florida, you know. She was the first online stalker who would illegally swat me. But the fake Alex Dupree perp was the in-person stalker who would stalk, follow, harass me everywhere. And I don't know if he died or if he's still alive or what the fuck is going on with him, but I'm glad I don't see him no more. I don't hear from him no more, thank God. It seemed like it seemed like dealing with him, it seemed like it never ended. You know. So Alex was admitted to me that he was stalking, following, and harassing me because he was after my soul and wanted me to sell my soul, and he wanted me to become a gang stalker. And he would recruit those young military kids. He would recruit people in front of my face. He would try to recruit them to gang stalk me. And he would stalk, follow, and harass me everywhere and tell restaurants and cafes to treat me pretty bad and fuck over my food and everything, you know. And Alex admitted to me that he was a gay Freemason. He tried to tell me multiple times that the police got me under surveillance. After Alex Dupree and DJ retired, after they left me alone, then came fake Damnesia, fake Darnell Williams perp. And it seemed like he took a somewhat of a step back and to let the rest of the cult criminals like Sticky and all them to freaking harass, you know. But he's been trying to come back and harass more, fake Damnesia. But Starbricker left me alone for a little bit. And then I noticed she's back to gang stalking and harassing again. And she is in cahoots with the fake Stephon Adams perp. And they've been, you know, cyber stalking people for so many years. So if they've been cyber stalking for so many years, how can they talk about someone's bad behavior or lie and say that people are stalking and harassing? Like, how does he know everything that Brian 2 is doing? They steal identities and you know, they commit all kinds, like the fake TIWatch.org website, the fake Stephon Adams perp, he illegally huddles together with, like, he only had a few people commenting for years. It wasn't that many people, and now the fake Red Triangle cult is making the fake blog bigger now, where they gossip and slander and lie on us targeted individuals and brag about their satanic cyber crimes that they committed against us. And Starbricker doesn't really care about anybody. She's a married woman, and she's fixated on me. She's pretty childish to be someone that's elderly. And also, Angie Peterson and Miss Vicky and all them, that, like, how the hell they have senior citizens that's freaking, act like third grade bullies, you know. And they're so satanic that when you tell the truth, they want to be fake crybabies and talking about falsely, oh, we're going to sue you for slander. No, when we tell the truth, it's not slander. And we can provide receipts, it's not slander. But, I mean, the childish, petty revenge that they try to get is childish and petty, but at the same time, very harsh and hurtful. That they try to get, you know. And, I don't remember if rapper Jay also threatened to rape me before. But he definitely threatened to try to traffic me and, you know, cyber stalking and harassing me and trying to steal from me and everything. You know, trying to break into my CashApp and PayPal. Sticky illegally hijacked donations that were supposed to be for me. He hijacked them and steal from me and my twin sister also hijacked donations that were supposed to be for me and, you know, hijacked them for herself. How come it's okay for my twin sister to have a monetized channel and receive donations? She is the one who I heard has 2 monetized channels. I only have 1 monetized channel, and the perps, they just want the truth to be silenced. You know? Well, it's 10:31 p.m. at night at the moment. Wow. So today I rested myself. I felt the sleep deprived, tired feeling, and had all day, and I had a headache most of the day. I ended up missing breakfast, and for dinner, those flatbread thingies turned out to be bigger than I thought, and it was like big, huge flatbread thing, and I put the lobster the lobster stuff on there, and I sliced up one of those small avocados. It wasn't super ripe, I guess, but it was kind of ripe, the most ripe that was in there, you know. And I think that was the ripest one, but it still like had some more ripening that it needed to do. And so I, cut up the avocado, and I put the spinach and arugula mix. I put a little bit of that on there, and I ate it. And I ate like 3 pieces of radish, and I had like about half a thing of strawberries, and I had some ice cream, and I had 3 of those cuties mandarin orange thingies, and I was too full to try to eat any carrots, you know. And so, like, I think I'm gonna end up having like a busy weekend, and I'm gonna end up having like a busy weekend, and I have a lot to do. Like, I need to find a way to get laundry done. And the soap spilled in one of my bags, so I have to find a way to I need to clean out my bags and wash my bags. And I thought about writing another fiction short story, but oh man, I've been feeling tired all day, you know. So yeah, I'm scheduled to have to check out of here Monday and then be back to square one. And the stalkers are bragging about more swatting and more attacks and sending more people to hurt me and more kidnapping threats, straight up murder threats. I never did Angie Peterson anything. I never did the fake Mark Russell perp anything. But after they attack, and then when I finally stand up to them, Candy did me something. The fake Angie Peterson perp had been stalking and harassing me. The earliest I remember was about around the time of me and my twin sister's 41st birthday, or around the time the biological brother Wyatt died. And then that was the earliest I remember of her. And I thought that Angie was like a young black female that was like in her, I figured she couldn't be a teenager, but I thought she was a young black female that was like maybe 19 or 20 years old. But I didn't realize, I was shocked to find out that that's an older white woman. That if she had a son that she blood sacrificed and he was over 30 years old, then she must be almost old enough to be my mom. Because I'm 42. You know, and I don't even know if her son was 33 or that fake Masonic 33. Or I just heard he was in his 30s. And for that guy to go on Sticky's channel and admit that the blood, you know, he tried to say, if any of y'all know, something like, he said something like, if any of y'all know that we only do blood sacrifices around Christmas. That's what he said. But no, according to Fritz Springmeier, there are different times that you witches and occultists and Satanists do y'all sacrifices. So that guy come on Sticky's channel admitting that they do sacrifices. And then Cindy had a family member, like her aunt or something, that I don't remember, she blood sacrificed or was trying to sacrifice. And even, I cannot believe my biological family that they practice sacrificing. The biological half-sister Yolanda, she passed away. And her daughter Brittany, I cannot believe, is, you know, no wonder Brittany got hateful and turned against me, and she sold her soul and turned evil and got all this success, you know, running successful businesses and stuff, and hair salon or whatever. And my biological dad Arthur was elderly, but I do not know if he was a sacrifice or not. But the biological mom Frances, I don't know who in the family might have sacrificed her, but she was involved in the evil too. But you know, even the wicked die. And I have been told that people have told me that the biological sister Belinda was a sacrifice. I heard that her own son, the biological nephew John, was the one who sacrificed her. And then, after she gets sacrificed, then he finally get out of prison. And John being one of the most crooked people in the family and still get undeserved respect. If Pete is one of the family criminals, but they respect Pete. So, you know, I'm like, my twin sister told enough lies that the family have decided to wrongfully permanently ban me forever from the family. And I didn't know I was banned from the family even as far back as 2007. And I was suffering deep depression because of family abuse. You know, all these so-called mental health problems like depression, suicidal kind of depression as a result of family abuse. And my own perp twin sister telling so many lies and trying to do me in. And has no filter and go all in to show no mercy with her attacks, abuse, and lies and destruction. To hurt me. To team up with internet strangers to go against your own twin sister. And when they sell their soul to the devil, they sell their soul for money. And people trying to say that my twin sister has to obey the cult. And that she has to be against me because it's obedience to the cult to be against me. She was trying to butter me up for October to have me sacrifice for that holiday, Halloween. You know, that Illuminati fake Halloween, you know, that's the one of the witches' main holidays. The Satanic holiday, you know. That the stalkers be trying to have me sacrifice for Halloween every year. And in 2024, that fake Damnesia was threatening to have me sacrifice for Halloween and said nobody's gonna hear your blood-curdling screams. You know, I mean, how can I function with a job and, you know, this and that, and when they attack me so bad that I cannot get to focus on bettering myself or anything in life? You know, I can't, like, I'm, because of the jail and court situation, I have to, and them attacking me so heavy, and me being forced to have to change routines, and I can't have a comfort zone. No, not really many people are helping me to be protected and safe. These fake hotlines are just here for nothing. I cannot run to the human trafficking hotline. You know, I can't run to the cops. I can't run to anyone, you know. And when, I mean, I'm afraid what they might have in store for me, you know, Monday or Tuesday, whenever I'm gonna have to be back on the streets again. Like, I'm really terrified and afraid, you know. And the stalkers try to downplay and lie and say that no one is stalking me, no one's harassing me, I'm just making stuff up, and that I'm the one that's going around stalking and harassing and bullying people. No, documenting that I'm being gang stalked, I'm not bullying. You know? And they twist the narrative, you know. And yeah, like, I heard that all the transportation, that they all like participate in the gang stalking. I've heard Greyhound buses heavy on gang stalking, and the local transit, the local cops, and looks like they got Amtrak on board with heavy gang stalking. And now, when I left Philadelphia, you know, right after Angie came to harass me, they delayed the train, just like what they did in they did that in Los Angeles, right? Yeah, when I left LA to go to transfer to Chicago. Yeah, so yeah, so then when I went to yeah, they delayed the train and make everybody late just so that they lied us, fronted and lied and said something about mechanical issues or something like that. No. And then they show up just for me, train numbers with gang stalking triggering numbers. And so then they sent the sexually perverted nasty numbers in Philadelphia. And they had the rude, ugly gang stalking train attendant that there were other people taking pictures and videos of the train, and I'm the only one that he got an attitude with me and rushed me to get on the train, and that left a sour taste in my mouth. Well, good thing we sat. They forced us to get on the train with the bad numbers. But thankfully, I was on the train, that train from Philadelphia. Like the train leaving Los Angeles. I was forced to have to ride the train with numbers that I hate. But then, yeah, they delayed and make everybody else 45 minutes late just so you could harass me with train numbers. That's bizarre. And then, well, I try to document evidence. I'm like, oh no, they're trying to make me again. They're trying to force me to ride the car with numbers that I hate. But then, thankfully, they put us in a car next to it. But they forced us to enter with the train numbers that I don't like. But then we sat in the car behind that one. And then they planted a man with dirty pants to come and sit behind me. And then they planted a bedbug infested lady to come follow me everywhere on the train. And then, they kept doing the forced urination on me. So at first, when we got on the train from Philadelphia, we didn't have assigned seats. And then later they want us to switch their mind and make like they want us to have assigned seats. But I selected, passenger with disability on my profile for the train or whatever, and I explained to one of the workers on the train that I sat in the disabled section closer to the toilet, closer to the bathroom because of the forced urination. And I explained about my weak bladder, which I don't naturally have a weak bladder, but the stalkers, when they hit me with direct energy weapons, and they weaken my bladder. They make my bladder weak and force urinate me. So, it's like they've been the stalkers ever since, this rail pass trip. They've been having a field day with forced urinating me every bathroom trip. And so I explained to one of the train attendants the reason why I was, moved farther to the back and closer to the bathroom, because of the weak bladder and other issues, And they sent 2 male perps to sit behind me. When I was up in the front, And then I try to move to the back and, and then they had the train attendant that was rude to me, and got an attitude and rushed me on the train. He, went to try to harass me about the seat. And I told him, when I explained to the female train attendant that, I was switching seats, and I told her about the weak bladder. She's like, that's fine, that's fine, fine, no problem at all. And then they try to play psychological games that he just made it be obvious that he was trying to target me and pick on me and harass me. And then he tried to just pick a fight with me for unprovoked, for no reason at all, and harassing me about switching seats. and he refused to see my proof of my Medicare card or anything like that, to prove that I'm disabled. And he's like, well, you don't have it on your ticket. Well, I have on my profile selected passenger with disability. And I don't know why it doesn't show up on the ticket. But before I left for Atlanta, I try to make arrangements for disability seating or the lower level or whatever for the double-decker cars. And one of the Amtrak workers at the station in New Orleans said that all the seats were sold out or something like that, And then later on, I was riding the train and they would have almost the whole bottom lower level empty when they would have one passenger sitting in it empty, almost the whole thing empty except one passenger. Because if I have to come all the way from upstairs to downstairs, and that take a long time for me to get downstairs, and then they have able-bodied perps that hog up the bathroom and then take a long time and then get an attitude, and it's like they want to force me to pee on myself. And then I try to explain to them, I have a weak bladder, could you please hurry? And they're like, well, that's not my problem. No, or they play psych games and lie and say, I'm disabled too. I have a weak bladder too. And it'd be able-bodied men that be like extremely disrespectful. That they probably hurry up and see that I'm going to the bathroom and then hurry up and take that big handicap bathroom. I can't even squeeze or enter into the smaller bathrooms, So then, like, back to the situation from the other day, it was like, was it Tuesday night? And speaking of that, before I forget, when I left Philadelphia and I rode the regional train, I accidentally paid for it twice. I scanned my debit card on a machine and I got nothing. And I didn't know how I was going to get proof that I paid for it, And then the machine kept saying I paid for it, but nothing printed out, or I didn't know how I was going to get any evidence that I had the ticket, because they had a man that checked tickets on the train, that regional Philadelphia SEPTA train, not the Amtrak. And so I felt like, well, what if I noticed that it wasn't credited on my card, so then I paid again in cash, and I got the ticket. And so the money was debited out of my card earlier today. The money was debited out of my card, so I ended up, paying in cash and also paying a debit card, but I ended up paying twice by accident. Now there's nothing I could do about it because the cash payment, I threw all that away. So I lost $8.75. And so I forgot to talk about that. But back to the Amtrak. So the guy, the big ugly guy, he started to pick on me and harass me about the seat. And then he tried to make it like he was trying to put me through some humiliation scenario. And he kept falsely accusing me of lying. And he kept falsely accusing me of telling a web of lies. While at the same time, he kept flashing devil horns and being narcissistic and retarded. All I knew was his last name was Jenkins. And he kept on, like harassing me about the seat. And then he tried to tell me to move up one more seat. Now, like, you just want me to sit in a seat with, numbers that I hate. That's why you try to force me to move up there. And he tried to harass me, and he tried to falsely accuse me of lying about the female worker. And then he was the one who was doing the web of lies, and then bullying me and harassing me and falsely accusing me of being caught in the web of lies. He was just trying to give me a fucking hard time, and he was trying to get me to lash out. And then they had the other black guy with the name, initials start with a C, and his last name is Williams, and he the one who was operating a cafe car. And he had his mind made up to think, oh, she crazy, or she's a problem, she's trouble. Because when he eyewitnessed the way the other guy was treating me, and then acted like a flying monkey, and then after that, so when the Jenkins guy, the big guy, that he kept flashing devil horns at me, and I said, "What? Stop doing that! Stop flashing devil horns! Stop flashing satanic hand signs at me!" He's like, "What? What's satanic hand signs? What? I'm not flashing satanic hand signs at." He kept flashing devil horns at me while simultaneously harassing me and falsely accusing me of being caught in a web of lies. Yet him and the other women were trying to lie and say it was only only three female employees. And I described the worker that told the train attendant that told me, yes, I can sit and that I can switch. It's okay for me to switch seats. And then he forced me to abandon my food and let my food get cold while he sent me to the back to the cafe car and try to humiliate me in front of the other employees and act like he thinks he's the conductor. He trained attendant who act like he think he got the authority of the conductor. And there was a female conductor, I forgot what her name was, but I remember she had glasses, and I think she was masked up and like covered from head to, not head to toe, but like she had this fake stupid mask, and she had eyeglasses and had like something on her head. And like she was covered up, and she acted like she was gonna let him exercise all the fake authority and let him have all the power. And I know there was another lady and another female, and they kept trying to lie and say it was only 3 women of the whole entire train car. Like, I know it's more than 3 of y'all. They were trying to gaslight and play sight games and try to set me up. Especially the big guy, the Jenkins guy. And, trying to harass. And then, they were trying to hide and lie and say that it was only 3 women on the train. And come to find out, after their games and attempted schemes didn't work, then they later admitted that there was a 4th female that works on the train, and she was more like the train janitor. I didn't know she was like the train janitor. Shucks. I thought I just asked someone in uniform, and she said it was okay for me to sit there. And so then later on they questioned and confronted her and said that, yeah, it was okay for me to sit there. And then after that, they left me alone. They knew that there was another female that was younger and shorter, and the other 2 females, they were just looking, and it's like, y'all know damn well that there was at least one more female. They try to lie and say only 3. There was at least 4 females on that train. They try to gaslight and play games hard, just fucking with me for no reason at all. the fake Jenkins perp, the big ugly guy, he tried to ask me if I was sitting in the front, why didn't I go in the next train car? Well, you just wanted me to go in the next train car because that's numbers that I hate. And you wanted me to be forced to sit in front of those, sit near those two dirty perps. I mean, one of them was dressed in like very dirty pants. And then the perp with the dirty pants linked up with the bed bug lady. The lady that kept following me around and she had bed bugs. Trying to reinfest me all over again. And the next morning, the bed bug lady tried to follow me when I tried to order breakfast. And that Williams guy sided with and defended her and acted like I was the weird, crazy one for freaking out and not wanting her to get close to her, touch me. And then when I was trying to get her to get out of my way, and I was trying to figure out, why did you follow me back here? And I was freaking out and panicking. And then he encouraged her to stand right there and try to force me to squeeze through that small space. Now, I told him, you know what? You going to hell. And then he was defenseless and couldn't say nothing. That C. Williams guy, And then when I tried to order dinner, this was the next day. I tried the day that we got back to New Orleans, And when I went to get dinner, they had a bunch of male train attendants or whatever that was sitting down in a cafe car. And they looked at me like I was crazy and ignored me when I was trying to get help to get something to eat. Well, I originally was not planning to eat anything on the train. I was going to wait till I got back to New Orleans and got something to eat. And, but we ended up not getting back to New Orleans until like after 11 o'clock. It was like 11:13 exactly when the train pulled in. But, excuse me, but, like, after it was before the incident with the fake C. Jenkins perp harassing me. They had a perp on a train that looked homeless, and he was sitting in a cafe car, and I don't remember what he was doing, but he waited until after I went to order my food to come and follow me and try to invade my personal space and try to touch me and get close to me and stuff like that. Like, why you wait till after I pass through there to try to come and follow me so that you can have a fake excuse to bump into me? And you're very dirty. So... But, yeah, so it's like even the Amtrak employees are gang stalking even harder. And it's like, are they trying to manipulate or drive me to be frustrated enough to make me feel frustrated enough to... Are they trying very hard to try to convince me to feel like, just make me never want to take Amtrak ever again, Or making me feel like I cannot enjoy the ride, And it seems like the Amtrak workers themselves, sometimes they try to involve other passengers, or sometimes they create it on their own to try to set up a scenario to get me to go off. And then the big ugly guy, this Jenkins guy, he didn't even once he realized he was wrong, he didn't even apologize. He was so narcissistic and arrogant, he didn't even apologize. And then later on that night, or was it the next? No, it was the next day. They had people that the train started filling up more, and he tried to say it in front of my face to another passenger. He tried to lie and over exaggerate and say that there are too many people that are trying to lie for a handicap spot. And they had, another man that I don't know if it was fake gang stalking street theater or a way to mock me. That they had an elderly man that had problems, and he came to sit right behind me, and the guys, and the Jenkins guys started picking on and harassing him and forced that man to go and sit all the way up at the front. And I don't even know if it was like more gang stalking mockery, to try to like reenact or replay out again the gang stalking street theater, to replay out again what they were trying to do to me. It's like they're getting even worse. And then they want to try to bully me to not speak out, or try to manipulate for me to be afraid to speak out against their tactics and scenarios that they set up for the gang stalking period, And the bedbug lady linked up with the man with the dirty pants in New Orleans. And so like I had, I came back to New Orleans, I guess it was Wednesday. And then Wednesday night. And then Thursday, I had one more train segment, and that's why I try to not go too far. And that's why I went to Mobile, Alabama yesterday, and all I did was go to the library because it was raining, and I didn't even buy anything to eat until after we were on a train, because we got stopped for a bit. And I didn't know how long we were going to be. So I ended up getting something on the train. I tried whatever I could to try to avoid eating train food. But I ended up having to buy something on the train, And Wednesday, I was trying to not eat dinner on the train and was going to wait till we got to New Orleans. But we ended up being super late. So that's why I ended up having to eat the train food. But I had I had one more segment left, so that's why I used it for Mobile, Alabama, someplace that wasn't far. And then I had to pay $30. Well, I could have used my points. I could have used some of my points, but I was trying to let some of my points accumulate, to cash out on bigger things, But I don't know if or when I would do a rail pass again. And I don't know if there's an if, because the Stalker's agenda from, it was I think it was the day that I got on a train for January 30th, and Fake Sticky was trying to harass me and make it like he had an agenda to have me wrongfully permanently banned from riding the Amtrak. And all the stalkers, they trying to have an agenda to have me wrongfully permanently banned from riding the Amtrak and the local transportation, like the New Orleans RTA and Jefferson Transit. But other targeted individuals, they don't get kicked out of and banned from places for calling out gang stalkers or filming and recording gang stalkers or having altercations with gang stalkers. And now they try to make it on YouTube. They try to make videos of real targeted individuals. It's very hard to find nowadays. Or is it that they have this many people selling out? In 2020, I found out very quickly that they say that most people claim to be T.I. are fake and sold out. And they had that guy, what's his name? His name was Chuck Langenberg, that got murdered for exposing he had a website that he got murdered for exposing that the gang stalker's agenda is to try to get the target to sell out and become a gang stalker and sell their souls, and that the gang stalkers are very addicted to they're very addicted to their gang stalking activities. You know. Well, I have and a couple of more things. Before I left Los Angeles, they had someone that loved me enough to treat me. I think she said her name was Taz. Well, thank you so much, Taz, for treating me out to have whatever I wanted for lunch. And after that, when I think it was the next day, and I ended up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they had a lady that loved me enough to give me $20. And then when I went to the grocery store, they had a couple of the employees that would try to screw over me. But good thing the manager stepped in and corrected everything. Well, I love y'all. I'm getting off here. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow.